What's up, guys? As the summer is coming to a close, many riders will look to move their cycling indoors for a winter season. But if you have no experience with riding indoors, that can be very daunting as you cannot fully comprehend what equipment will you need. But don't worry, in this video I will tell you what you need to start riding indoors on Zwift, and I'm going to give you a few reasons why that is a worthwhile option for your fitness. You may be wondering, why should you even consider riding on Zwift? And there are actually quite a few reasons. For many people, cycling isn't appealing anymore outside once the temperatures go low and it starts raining more regularly. But even if you like riding outside during winter, there are a few reasons why should you consider riding on Zwift as well. Well, it all comes down to 3 ways you can use Zwift for your riding. The first way is general riding. You can pick pre-selected course, like I did right now, or you can just enter the world and start riding. But that is something you can probably do even outside. So there are 2 more ways you can use Zwift for your riding. And the next way you can use Zwift is for training. There is a huge library of workouts, and there are also many training plans that you can select. But that is not all. You can also import third-party workouts into Zwift or use a dedicated workout builder to create your own workouts if you have something prescribed by your coach or if you want to try something you've seen on the web. And the last, and in my opinion, most fun way to use Zwift is for racing. Every single day there are many races going on that you can pick from, going from the shorter ones into very long, very difficult ones. The riders are divided into categories, so there is not a risk that you would be racing with someone who is way more powerful than you are. So now you know you want to start riding on Zwift. But where should you start? Well, you are going to need some equipment. And I'm going to divide the equipment that you need into 3 categories. 1, the categories that you really need. The second, the equipment that you really want. And the third, that is just nice to have. And the first thing that is absolutely crucial is bike and a trainer. If you have an outdoor bike, you are covered. Most bikes are compatible with many indoor trainers, current indoor trainers. If you are unsure if your particular bike is compatible, check out with the manufacturer, but chances are it is. And trainer is something that basically replaces your rear wheel and measures your power. There are 2 kinds of trainers. There's the wheel-on trainer, which basically doesn't replace your wheel, and the wheel only rotates on it. I would want to discourage you from using this because it will be more painful than enjoyable. Just invest in direct drive trainer that replaces your rear wheel, and it measures your power, measures your cadence, and stuff like that. That is if you are already riding outside. If you are not a cyclist yet and want to start riding indoors and do not even consider riding outdoors, you might want to consider to purchase an indoor bike. There is a huge range of indoor bikes on the market, going from very expensive ones like Wahoo Kicker bike that is beautiful, going down into the newly announced Zwift Ride, which is basically a package of direct drive trainer and an indoor bike frame that is ready to go. You buy this and you have pretty much everything you need. The next thing you are going to need is a device that you will run your Zwift on. The good news is Zwift is compatible with many devices on the market, and you can run it even on very old devices. Obviously, if you want the most beautiful, most immersive experience, you are going to need a gaming PC and a large screen. But that is by no means a necessity. You can run Zwift even on Mac, you can run it on tablet, on phones. It is available both for iOS and Android. And For the most budget option, you can run it on Apple TV. Also, creating a Zwift account and downloading the software is free. And you have about 20 kilometers per month free to really test your devices, test your connection. But if you want to ride beyond that, you're going to need a Zwift subscription. Zwift is a subscription model, and it's not exactly cheap. At the moment, it's $19.99 per month or $199, euros, whatever, per year. There has been a huge debate if the price is worth the value you are getting out of the software. For me, it undeniably is. But if it is for you, you'll need to decide that. And the last thing you are going to need is a stable internet connection. You need to keep in mind Zwift is an online platform, online world, where you can meet other riders. So without good stable internet connection, you cannot ride on Zwift. So those are the things that you really cannot live without on Zwift. But there are a few more that I would consider almost as important, even though you can run technically the program without them. And the first one is heart rate monitor. Heart rate monitor is usually in a form of a chest strap. And apart from measuring your heart rate, which you can use for tracking your performance and tracking your progression, you need that heart rate monitor actually to enter many races. And if there is a competitive racing series like Tour of Watopia, Zwift Academy, Tour de Zwift, whatever else, Zwift Games, you will always need a heart rate monitor just to be included in the results. So heart rate monitor is almost as important as the stuff I was talking about before. The next thing I would consider almost crucial is a powerful fan. You need to realize that during indoor riding, there is no wind resistance, and you will get very, very hot very quickly. So you need a powerful fan to cool you down during your ride so you don't overheat. Even if you have a powerful fan, you will sweat a lot. So you might want to have a towel at the ready. That's not something you will probably need to buy, but it is nice to keep it in mind. Especially when you are racing, you need to replace the fluids and get in some carbohydrates. So you are going to need a water bottle. Obviously, you can drink from a glass, but in my experience, it isn't the most safe way to do it. Get a water bottle. They are not expensive. And the last thing that I would consider almost as crucial as the previous stuff is a riding mat. Riding mat is similar to yoga mat, but it's way more thick and it's way more durable. And it's basically a mat that you put underneath your bike and a trainer. And it serves two purposes. First, it protects your floor from scratches, but mainly from sweat. Sweat is very aggressive, and everyone who rides indoors for some time can confirm that. And also it reduces the vibrations and dampens the noise, which is particularly useful if you are riding during the nighttime in an apartment. Your neighbors will be way happier with you if you have a riding mat. So now I have covered all the things that I would consider really necessary. But there are a few more things that are not necessary, but are nice to have and can really improve your indoor riding experience. For the first thing, I would like to mention cycling shoes and cycling clothes. As for cycling shoes, you can obviously cycle in any shoes you have available. On flat pedals, it's fine. But if you really want to race, if you really want to perform at the best of your ability, you will need cycling shoes and clipless pedals, because that is the only solution that enables you the best power transfer you can do. Anything but this is a compromise, but you can ride without them technically. As for cycling clothing, you might want to consider at least bib shorts. Bib shorts are special kind of cycling shorts that give you protection against saddle sores. So if you are riding for a long time, your bottom won't hurt nearly as much as if you would be riding in your regular shorts or sweatpants or anything. You don't need a cycling jersey like I'm wearing. You would be probably better off if you didn't wear anything at the top. I'm wearing cycling jerseys for these videos because I don't want you to leave. But when I'm riding on my own, I don't wear anything. It's way more comfortable. Another thing that you might want to consider is a training desk. Training desk is basically a place where you can put your keyboard, where you can put your drink, where you can put your monitor, where you can have your tablet if you are watching movies during riding. Basically something that makes the riding more convenient too. You can either buy a dedicated training desk from companies like Wahoo, or you can buy a cheap knockoff, which is what I have. And dedicated training desk is nice because it has rubberized surface, so the things don't slip. And it also has a cutout for the bottles and for the tablet. So that's very nice to have, but you can use whatever desk you have available or that you can buy. Like I already mentioned, sweat is extremely destructive substance, and it basically corroded all the bolts in my bike just during the first season I was riding on Zwift. And to combat that, you have the towel, as I was mentioning before, but you can also buy a dedicated sweat guard like this one that I'm holding. It's very cheap. It costs like $10, and it basically runs from your seat post to your bars and protects your head tube and the top of your frame from sweat. And I would say that's a very worthwhile investment, especially if you're a heavy sweater. And then there are three things that are more expensive, but will make your riding even better. And the first thing I would like to mention is a rocker plate. Rocker plate is basically a plate, a device that you put underneath your bike and a trainer, and it allows you to have more rocking motion on the bike. As you can see right now, I'm swaying left and right on my bike. If you don't have a rocker plate, that is not possible. You will be fixed to a static position. And you might not worry about being fixed into static position, but some riders report they have pains when riding in static position. And that was actually my case. And I bought a rocker plate and the pain went away. So especially if you have any aches or pains during riding, consider buying a rocker plate. They are not very cheap, unfortunately, but they are cheaper and more expensive, and they vary by the materials used and also by the rocking motion they allow you. Some of them allow you rocking motion like this, like mine, but there are also more advanced rocker plates that also allow you rocking motion from front to rear and back, which helps especially during sprinting. But it is something that is worth considering, definitely. The second expensive thing that is worth it is a large screen. I'm using a gaming PC with a 40-inch TV, and I have the TV in front of me like at arm's length, and the experience is incredible. It's very immersive, and when you are racing, you really feel like you are in the pack. So that's something that will make the riding more enjoyable for you. It's by no means a necessity. As I said earlier, you can ride with your mobile phone if you want, but if you want to have more immersive experience and plan to ride a lot on Zwift, that is something you might want to invest in. And last but not least, a cycling computer. And you might be wondering, why would I need a cycling computers? I don't need maps during indoor riding. The trainer measures everything for me. Why would I need that? Well, unfortunately, the trainer and the game don't measure everything for you. What you see on screen is just very basic reporting of your power, cadence, and heart rate. What you see is 3-second power, basically, but you don't already have an average power available or something like that. So if you have a cycling computer, you can pair your trainer to it simultaneously with Zwift, and you can have all the extra bells and whistles like average power, lap power, and many more features, some of which can actually help you during Zwift racing, like a real-time stamina. And that is something I talk in the video before. Go watch it if you haven't seen. If you like this video, please subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.